I had always believed my life with Aisha was perfect. At least, that's what I told myself every morning as I watched her laugh across the breakfast table. "You're up early again," she said, smirking, her hair messy but somehow still flawless. "I like mornings," I replied, trying to sound casual, though my chest ached with something I couldn't name yet. "Sun feels different today." "Different how?" she teased, pouring coffee. "Just brighter," I said, shrugging. But her eyes, sharp as ever, caught the hesitation I didn't even know I had. She leaned closer. "You've got that look again. The one you get when you're thinking too much." I laughed nervously. "Maybe I am." Aisha grinned, the kind of grin that could melt anyone's heart, but right now it unsettled me. I wanted to trust her completely like I always had, but something about her charm felt calculated. I pushed the thought away, blaming it on Monday blues. Later that day we went to meet Ryan. Childhood friend, good guy, the kind of person you trust blindly. I liked him, though I'd never admit it aloud. He had this quiet honesty I envied. "Hey, you too." Ryan waved, grinning. "I wasn't expecting company today." "Thought we'd surprise you," Aisha said, slipping her hand into mine like nothing was wrong. I followed, smiling, though a knot formed in my stomach. Ryan's eyes lit up when he saw Aisha. "Aisha, you actually came." "I wouldn't miss it," she said, voice soft, almost persuasive, like she was weaving invisible threads around him. I watched him and then her and felt it, the first spark of unease. She wasn't just visiting, she was controlling the room, the mood, even him. "Ryan, I was thinking," Aisha leaned closer to him, lowering her voice so only he could hear. "About Zara. You shouldn't go through with this marriage. It won't be fair to her or you." I froze. "Wait, what? What's going on?" I asked, stepping closer. Ryan's eyes widened. "Aisha, it's none of your business." "No, it's my business," she snapped, louder than before, but still with that effortless charm. "I know you care, but she's dying, Ryan. You can't ruin your life for her. Trust me. I've seen the future here, and it's messy." I felt my blood turn cold. "Dying?" I said, my voice tight. Ryan looked helpless. She has a condition, but..." "I'm just trying to help." Aisha interrupted. "I know it sounds harsh, but you'll thank me later." I wanted to speak, to stop her, but the words stuck in my throat. I stared at her, my mind racing. How long had she been planning this? How much had she manipulated without me noticing? Why didn't anyone tell me this before? I asked finally, my voice shaking. "You didn't ask," she said sweetly, turning that devastating smile on me. "I didn't want to hurt you with something complicated." "Complicated?" I felt my fist clench. This wasn't complicated, it was betrayal. You interfered in his life. Behind everyone's back. That's not complicated. That's... I couldn't finish. Words failed me. Ryan looked between us, confusion and hurt in his eyes. "I don't understand, why would you do this, Aisha?" "I'm protecting you," she said, voice trembling slightly now, though the fire in her eyes was still sharp. "I love you. I can't watch you make a mistake you'll regret forever." I felt nausea twist in my stomach. "So, it's love when it suits you. Control when it doesn't." "Control?" she gasped, feigning offense. "I'm helping. I'm saving him from heartbreak." "And what about me?" I demanded, stepping closer. "Do I get a say in this? Do I get to decide who I trust?" Aisha's eyes flickered, and for a moment, I saw something I hadn't noticed before: hesitation, vulnerability. But it was gone almost immediately, replaced by that practiced charm. "You're overreacting," she said, brushing past me. "Ryan will thank me later. You'll see." I couldn't let her do this unchecked. My heart was pounding, but my mind screamed at me to act. "Aisha, we need to talk. Alone." She paused, eyebrow raised. "Now." "Yes, now," I said firmly. "We can't pretend everything is okay." We walked a few steps away and I turned to face her. "Tell me the truth, Aisha. Every detail. Why are you stopping him? How long have you been planning this?" She smiled softly, the kind of smile that used to make my chest hurt with affection. "I didn't plan anything. I just saw what could happen and I acted. Isn't that what love does? Love doesn't manipulate people behind their backs." I shouted. "This isn't love, it's selfishness." Her smile faltered. "Selfish? I'm protecting everyone, including you. I thought you'd understand." "Understand?" I laughed bitterly. "I trusted you. I believed in you. And all this time you were scheming? This isn't protection, it's betrayal." Ryan came over, looking confused and scared. "What's going on?" "Nothing you need to worry about," Aisha said quickly, putting a hand on his shoulder. "It's between me and him." She nodded toward me. I couldn't hold back anymore. No, it's between all of us. You're destroying lives, Aisha. Zara's life, Ryan's future, and now mine. Zara. I hadn't seen her yet, but just hearing her name made my chest tighten. I wanted to protect her, to warn her. I wanted to stop Aisha from doing more damage. Maybe I am destroying things, she said softly, almost whispering now. But I can't let him make a mistake. You don't understand. You weren't there. I don't need to be there. I snapped. I see it. I see everything. And you know what? I don't like what I see. I don't like the person I'm seeing in front of me. Her eyes widened. You think you understand, but you don't. I only ever wanted the best for him. Best for him? I shook my head, disbelief and anger twisting together. You mean best for you? Don't lie to me. I know the way you work. I know the way you charm people, bend their lives to your will, all under the guise of love. I trusted you. She flinched, and for the first time I saw fear, not the playful, mischievous kind she usually wore, but real, sharp, sudden fear. I didn't mean, she started, but I cut her off. Save it. I turned away for a moment, letting the anger burn me from inside. Then I faced her again, calm but resolute. I need to know the truth. Every lie you've told, every secret you've kept. I need it all. Or this perfect life we had. It's over. Do you understand me? She swallowed hard, words failing her for once. I saw her charm falter, her mask crack. And in that moment I realized something I hadn't wanted to admit. Aisha was not the girl I thought I knew. She had a cunning I'd never imagined, and a protective streak so twisted it hurt everyone around her. I didn't trust her anymore. Ryan looked between us, confusion still clouding his face. I don't understand, he whispered. None of you will, I muttered, more to myself than anyone else. Not until I figure out exactly what she's done and why. And I swear once I do, she's going to regret ever crossing me. Aisha's eyes narrowed, but her lips curled into that dangerous smile again. You really think you can handle this, don't you? I'll find out, I said quietly. But inside, I felt the first stirrings of a storm I hadn't known I could summon. And as I watched her, as she laughed softly at some private thought, I realized with a chill in my bones, my perfect life was over. Everything I thought I knew had been a lie. And from this moment, nothing would ever be the same. I couldn't sleep that night. Aisha's words echoed in my mind like a broken record. I'm protecting him, I'm doing the right thing. I wanted to scream, but the house was quiet. I poured myself a glass of water and sat by the window, staring out at the city lights, trying to make sense of what had just happened. The next morning I couldn't wait. I had to confront her again. Aisha, we need to talk. Now, I said as soon as she opened the door. She smiled like everything was normal. Good morning. You look tired. Did you sleep well? I didn't sleep at all, I snapped. Don't act like this is casual. I need the full truth. No excuses. Her eyes flickered, but she held my gaze. I've told you the truth. No, you haven't. I stepped inside, slamming the door behind me. You manipulated Ryan. You lied to me. Every word you've spoken feels like a lie now. She crossed her arms. I didn't lie, I intervened. I only ever tried to protect him. Can't you see that? I can see manipulation. I shouted. You didn't just protect him. You controlled his life. You lied to me too. Were we ever real? Her expression softened like she was wounded. I never wanted to hurt you. You have to believe that. I don't know what to believe anymore. I shouted. I keep replaying every memory. Every laugh, every touch. Was it all fake? Was it all calculated? Calculated? She asked, voice rising. You think I planned every little thing? I just acted on what I thought was right. Right? I laughed bitterly. You call interfering in someone else's life, right? What about Zara? Did you consider her feelings at all? She's sick, Aisha said, her voice trembling. I couldn't let him ruin everything. I saved him. You don't understand the burden of watching someone destroy their life for someone else's sake. I understand betrayal, I said, teeth gritted. I understand lies. And right now, I understand that I trusted the wrong person. She flinched, then took a step closer. You don't get it. You've never been in a position to make a decision like this. I had to act. I had to act. I yelled. This isn't acting. This is hurting people. This is controlling their lives without permission. You've turned everything upside down. Ryan entered then, holding a coffee cup, oblivious to the storm brewing. Are we okay? We're fine, Aisha said immediately, slipping her hand into his. Just talking. I looked at him, then at her. You think he doesn't see? He'll figure it out. You think your charm hides everything, but it doesn't. Ryan looked confused. Figure out what? Don't, Aisha warned him softly. No, I said firmly. He deserves to know. Aisha's eyes widened, a flash of panic crossing her face. Not now. Please. I turned to her. Too late. I'm done standing by. I trusted you. I defended you. And now I'm questioning every single thing. I only ever wanted the best, she said quietly. The best. I spat the words out. This is not the best. You're destroying lives. Yours, mine, his and hers. Ryan frowned. Wait, who? Zara, I said, voice low but firm. The girl you were going to marry. She's sick. And you didn't know because she trusted you. Because she thought the people around her would be honest. And now I swallowed. Now she's being cheated by someone pretending to care. Ryan's hands shook. I don't understand. You will, I said. Eventually. I left their apartment, my chest tight, mind racing. I couldn't process everything alone. I needed advice, someone I could trust. Someone who wouldn't sugarcoat the truth. I called Salman. Salman, I need you. Now. He answered almost immediately. I'm on my way. What happened? I sat on the curb outside my apartment, hands shaking. It's Aisha, she's manipulative. She's controlling Ryan's life. She's lying to me. I don't know what to do. Sit down. Breathe, Salman said calmly. Tell me everything. I poured it all out, my words tumbling over each other. She stopped him from marrying Zara. She said it was for his own good. But it's manipulation, Salman. She lied to me, she lied to everyone. I don't know if I can trust her anymore. I replay every moment with her. What if nothing was real? Salman was silent for a moment, then said softly, You've been blind, my friend. Love can make us blind. But betrayal is real and you're feeling it now. I trusted her, I whispered. I defended her when people questioned her. And now I see the truth. I can't unsee it. You need a plan, Salman said. You can't just react. Don't make mistakes out of anger. Think carefully. Decide whether you want revenge, justice, or just to walk away. But make a choice or she'll keep controlling everyone. I don't know if I can just walk away, I admitted. Part of me wants to protect Ryan. Another part wants to see her pay. I can't just ignore this. Then act but wisely, he said. Don't let emotion blind you. Observe. Gather information. Wait for the right moment. You'll know it when it comes. I hung up, heart pounding. He was right, I couldn't let this go. I had to decide and I had to act. At work the next day I forced myself to appear normal. Coworkers greeted me with casual hellos, but I barely heard them. My mind was on Aisha, Ryan, and Zara. Hey man, you okay? My colleague Faraz asked. You look like you didn't sleep. Just a long night, I said, forcing a smile. Thanks. Another colleague, Sanaa, passed by, glancing at me. Coffee? Sure, I muttered. I needed the caffeine, but more than that, I needed a clear head. I replayed the confrontation over and over. Each memory of Aisha's smile, each manipulative word, made my blood boil. How could someone you loved so deeply hurt people without remorse? At lunch, I met Salman again. I've been thinking, I said, grabbing a sandwich. She's not just controlling Ryan. She's controlling everyone around her, even me. And I can't just let it continue. You need patience, Salman said. Watch carefully. Let her underestimate you. Every manipulator makes mistakes when they think they're untouchable. I know, I said, biting into my sandwich. I hate feeling powerless. I trusted her, Salman. I defended her and now, my hands shook. Now I feel like I've been blind the whole time. You weren't blind, he said. You just didn't want to see. That's different. But now you do. And that gives you power. I nodded, though the weight in my chest didn't ease. Power, yeah. I can't let her think she's untouchable. I'll expose her. I'll make her realize she can't manipulate everyone. Salman smiled faintly. Good. But remember, slow and steady. Don't rush. Let her mistakes unfold naturally. You'll have your moment. Back at the office, I watched people go about their day, laughing, arguing, oblivious to the emotional storm brewing in my life. I envied their normalcy. I wanted it. But I knew it was gone. My trust in Aisha was shattered. Every memory, every touch, every smile was now tainted. By the time I left work, my mind was made up. I wouldn't stand by. I wouldn't be passive. I would act. I drove past Ryan's apartment, thinking about Zara, about the life she deserved. I thought about Aisha, about how confident she had seemed in controlling everything. She had underestimated me. That was her first mistake. I clenched the steering wheel. I'm done waiting. I'll make my move and she won't see it coming. The storm had begun. I couldn't stop thinking about Aisha. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that smug little smile, heard her soft voice telling me she was protecting Ryan. Protecting? That word had never sounded so poisonous. I decided I needed a plan. Patience, observation, precision. I couldn't let my anger control me. I had to be smarter than her. I called Salman that night. I'm done sitting around. I want to act. But I don't want to make a mistake. You don't have to rush, he said calmly. Watch, gather intel, let her slip. She always slips if you wait. I know, I muttered. But waiting feels like letting her win. You'll have your moment. Just make sure it counts. The next morning, I drove past Ryan's apartment again. Aisha's car was there, of course. She was always punctual, always controlling. I watched them through the window. She was leaning close, laughing at something Ryan said. Her hand brushed his shoulder, not casual, calculated. I could feel my chest tighten. I turned away before my anger got the better of me. Stay calm, I whispered to myself. Plan first. Strike later. I spent the next few days carefully watching them, keeping my interactions casual. I smiled at Aisha when she approached me at work, pretending everything was fine. Hey, she said brightly one morning. I didn't see you yesterday. I was busy, I said lightly. How's everything with Ryan? Oh, fine, she replied, tilting her head. We had a quiet day, just catching up. Nothing exciting. I nodded, hiding the storm brewing inside me. That's good. Every conversation felt like a game. Every smile from her was a challenge. I had to learn her patterns, weaknesses, and where her ego made her careless. Meanwhile, I started visiting Zara at the hospital. She was frail but had this resilience in her eyes that made me respect her immediately. Hi, I said softly the first time I entered her room. I'm a friend of Ryan's. She looked at me carefully. I know, she said quietly. Aisha mentioned you. I froze. She did. Not much, Zara said, giving a faint smile. Just enough to make me wary. I nodded. Good. I want you to know I'm on your side. I don't like what she's doing to you. Or to Ryan. Zara's eyes softened. Thank you. It's confusing. Everyone acts like I should be grateful. I just want the truth. That's fair, I said. You deserve it. Over the next few days, I spent more time with her, listening, learning. She told me about her treatment, her hopes, her fears. She was stronger than I'd expected, and I realized this. If I was careful, she could be an ally or at least a witness to the truth. One afternoon, as I walked back from the hospital, Salman called. How's it going? Good, I said. I'm learning things about her, about Zara, about myself. I feel empowered, but also a little guilty. I don't want to use Zara, but I might have to. You're not using her, Salman said. You're protecting her and you're exposing a manipulator. There's a difference. I hope so, I muttered. Back at work, Aisha approached me in the hallway. Hey, you've been quiet lately. Everything okay? I smiled, casual, masking my true feelings. Fine. Just busy. You look tired, she said, concern laced with that subtle control she always had. You should rest more. I will, I said lightly, letting the words float. Thanks for worrying. Her smile sharpened, like she knew something I didn't. Of course. I care about you, you know. I nodded, inwardly seething. Careful, I thought. Every word, every gesture, I'm watching you. Over the next week, I started noting her patterns. How she checked her phone when she smiled most convincingly, how she manipulated small details to make herself look innocent. I needed a crack in her armor. Meanwhile, Zara confided in me one evening. Ryan, he wants to be with me, but he's torn. Aisha, she won't let him make his own choice. She's not allowed to decide for him, I said, voice low but firm. No one is. Zara nodded. I know, but she's smart. And persuasive. I don't want to hurt anyone, but I also don't want to be erased. You won't be, I said, gripping her hand. I'll make sure of it. That night I plotted my first move. Aisha had underestimated me. She thought I'd sit quietly, trust her, let her continue manipulating Ryan. She was wrong. The next morning I found myself in the cafe where Ryan often met her. I sat across from a waitress, casually asking questions, learning small details, where she went, who she met, how she spent her mornings. Every small piece of information could help me craft the perfect trap. Aisha appeared a few minutes later, radiant as always. She didn't notice me at first, but when our eyes met, I smiled. "Hi," I said, keeping my tone light. "Fancy seeing you here." "Oh, hi," she replied, unsuspecting. "I usually come here in the morning. I didn't know you liked this place." "I've been busy," I said casually. "But now I'm here. Maybe we can catch up sometime?" She laughed lightly. "Of course. That would be nice." I watched her closely, noting how she relaxed in familiar surroundings. I filed that away. Comfort made people careless. Later that day, I visited Zara again. She smiled as I entered. "Hey," she said softly. "You're really here." "I promised," I said. "I'm here to stay. And to help. Whatever it takes." She looked at me seriously. "I don't want anyone to get hurt. I want a chance to live my life honestly." "You'll get it," I said firmly. "I won't let her steal that from you, or from Ryan. Not anymore." We spent the afternoon talking. She told me about her dreams, small, simple things like seeing the sunrise or eating ice cream without worrying about her illness. I listened, absorbing every detail. Those small details would become tools for my plan. The next evening, I saw Aisha at Ryan's apartment again. She laughed, leaning close, whispering something I couldn't hear. I didn't move. I just watched. Every gesture, every smile, every soft laugh was logged in my mind. She was confident, untouchable in her own eyes. That was the key. I smiled to myself. Not for long, I thought. I'll make sure your control slips quietly, perfectly. You won't know what hit you. I called Salman that night. "I've got a plan forming," I said. "She's predictable. Every action, every reaction, I see the patterns now." "Good," he said. "Just make sure your trap is clean. No collateral damage. You're smarter than her, but don't let emotion cloud judgment." "I won't," I promised. "I've learned patience. I've learned observation. And now I'll act. Soon." I went to bed that night, restless but determined. The thrill of justice and a little vengeance coursed through me. Aisha had thought she was untouchable. But she had underestimated the person she betrayed. The next morning, I woke up with a single thought. It was time to test my plan. To see if her perfect control over everyone would finally crack. I smiled, a cold, precise smile. It begins today. I couldn't stop thinking about the plan I'd set in motion. Every move, every word, every interaction with Aisha had to be precise. I wasn't going to let her slip away again. The next morning, I arrived at work earlier than usual, scanning the office. My colleague Faison waved. "Morning. You look focused." "I am," I said, letting a casual smile slip through. "Busy day ahead." "Coffee?" he asked, gesturing to the machine. "Sure," I replied, but my mind was elsewhere. I had to track her behavior, notice her inconsistencies, and slowly let Ryan see them too. Later that day, Aisha strolled into the office, radiant as ever. She didn't notice me immediately. I sipped my coffee, pretending to read emails, but my eyes followed her every move. "Hey," she said brightly, approaching my desk. "You're here early." "I like mornings," I said casually, though my pulse quickened. "They're quiet." She smiled, tilting her head. "You look tense. Something on your mind?" "Just work," I replied, letting a hint of something else linger. "You?" "Oh, same as always," she said, shrugging. Then she leaned closer, lowering her voice. "You've been distant. Is it about Ryan?" I raised an eyebrow, hiding my smirk. "Maybe. He seems confused lately." Aisha's eyes narrowed slightly, but she recovered. "Ryan? Confused? He's always been clear about what he wants." "Is he?" I asked softly. "Because I've noticed some discrepancies. Things don't add up sometimes." Her smile faltered just for a fraction of a second. "Discrepancies? What do you mean?" "Nothing major," I said lightly, letting the words dangle. "Just little things, small contradictions. I guess everyone slips sometimes." She laughed, though it didn't reach her eyes. "Everyone slips, huh? Are you accusing me of lying?" "Not accusing," I said. "Just observing." I watched her carefully, every smile, every gesture, every micro-expression. Aisha didn't notice the subtle shift. I was slowly turning the tables. That evening I called Zara. "Hey," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "I wanted to check on you." "I'm okay," she said softly. "But I feel like there's something I'm missing." "There is," I admitted. "I want to help you see the truth, but carefully. You're strong and you deserve it." "I want that," she whispered. "I need it. I can't keep living in a bubble." "Good," I said. "We'll do this slowly. You'll start noticing things, Small things, little inconsistencies. Then you'll know what's real and what isn't. The next day, I ran into one of Aisha's coworker allies, Hira. She was sympathetic to my side, though discreet. "Hey," she said, lowering her voice. "I know what she's doing. I've seen the way she manipulates people." I nodded, grateful. "I need information, small things, details she assumes no one notices." Hira smiled faintly. "I can help. But be careful. She's clever." "I'm always careful," I said. Over the next few days, I started pointing out minor inconsistencies in conversations and interactions. Small contradictions Aisha couldn't hide. Every time she lied or misrepresented something, I subtly highlighted it to Ryan without making it obvious. One afternoon, I caught them together in the park. Aisha was laughing, leaning close, whispering to Ryan. I approached slowly. "Hey," I said casually. "Did you two plan this meeting?" She looked surprised. "Oh, yes. Just talking." I nodded. "Talking's fine. But Ryan, I noticed something. Didn't Aisha say yesterday that she was working late?" Ryan frowned, a flicker of doubt in his eyes. She said she'd be at work. But she's here." Aisha's smile wavered. I just got free." I shrugged innocently. "Ah, okay." Just seemed a little inconsistent. Ryan's brow furrowed, his confusion evident. I smiled inwardly. The seed was planted. Later, I returned to Zara's room. She looked up as I entered. "I noticed," she said quietly. "Little things that don't add up." "Yes," I said, sitting beside her. "Exactly. That's how you start seeing the truth. Small inconsistencies. They're not mistakes, they're signs." She nodded, determination in her eyes. "I want to know everything." "We'll get there," I said. "Step by step." The next morning, I confronted Aisha again, this time more subtly. "Good morning," I said, sipping my coffee. "Busy day." "Yes," she said, her tone careful. "You?" "Observing," I replied, letting the word hang. "I noticed a few things, small contradictions." "Contradictions?" she asked, clearly on edge. "Little things," I said lightly. "Not important yet. But they're there. I guess everyone slips sometimes." Her eyes narrowed, suspicion flickering. "You're implying something?" "Just noticing," I said. "Nothing else." She didn't respond, but I could see the unease in her posture. That was all I needed. That evening I called Salman. "It's working," I said. "She's uneasy, subtle but clear. Ryan's starting to notice too." "Good," he said. "Keep it slow. Let her unravel naturally. Don't push too hard." "I won't," I said. "Patience is key." The next day, I orchestrated a small encounter between Zara and Ryan. She noticed a subtle detail, a message on his phone, a forgotten mention, a slip in his conversation. She confronted him gently. "Ryan," she said softly. "Did Aisha?" He froze. "What do you mean?" "She's manipulating things. I don't know everything, but I feel it." Ryan looked confused, conflicted. "I don't know. She's always seemed protective." "Protective?" Zara asked quietly. "Or controlling?" He hesitated, doubt creeping in. I think maybe she's not being honest." "Yes," I whispered to myself, hidden in the shadows. The truth was spreading, quietly, naturally. Over the next few days, I continued pointing out minor discrepancies, always carefully, always subtly. Aisha's confidence began to waver. The smiles became tighter, her gestures a little forced. I watched from a distance, feeling a mixture of guilt and satisfaction. One afternoon, Aisha approached me, her tone cautious. "You've been paying a lot of attention lately." "Just observing," I said lightly, keeping my expression neutral. "You're trying to catch me in a lie?" she asked, eyes sharp. I shrugged. "Maybe. Or maybe I'm just noticing things. Everyone slips sometimes." Her lips tightened, and I saw the first real cracks in her composure. She was beginning to realize that someone, me, was systematically outmaneuvering her. Later, I ran into Hira again. "She's worried," Hira said quietly. "I've never seen her like this." "Good," I said, trying to sound casual. "She should be." Hira nodded. "You're careful. Don't push too hard, but keep it subtle. She's unraveling faster than she realizes." I smiled faintly. "I've got it under control." That evening I returned to Zara. "She's noticing," I said. "Aisha, the cracks are showing. Soon Ryan will start questioning everything." Zara looked determined. "I want to be ready for that moment. I want to see the truth clearly." "You will," I said. "And when that happens, she won't know what hit her." I went home that night, exhausted but exhilarated. My plan was unfolding perfectly. Aisha's world was starting to crumble, one subtle inconsistency at a time. And I felt a thrill I hadn't expected, not just from revenge but from the control, from the justice slowly taking shape. I lay in bed thinking. She had underestimated me. She thought she was untouchable. But every smile, every manipulation, every calculated move she'd made, now it was all visible and I was orchestrating the unraveling. The next morning I woke up with a sense of purpose. Today I would push just a little further. The trap was set, the pieces in motion. Aisha's perfect control over everyone was about to collapse, and she wouldn't even see it coming. I woke up that morning with a sense of anticipation I hadn't felt in months. Everything I had set in motion was finally moving toward the point of no return. Aisha's carefully constructed world, built on lies and manipulation, was about to unravel, and I would be at the center, quietly observing every moment. I started my day by checking on Zara. She was sitting by the window, sunlight streaming across her face, holding a book but not really reading. "Morning," I said softly. "Morning," she replied, smiling faintly. "Did you sleep well?" "Better than I expected," I said. "Today might be interesting." "Interesting?" she asked, curious. "Yes," I said, leaning against the wall. "You'll see. Some truths are about to surface." Her eyes widened slightly. "Really?" "Really," I said. "But we'll take it step by step. No rushing. You're ready, I can tell." Later that morning, I found myself outside Ryan's apartment. He was pacing, clearly anxious. "Ryan," I said, stepping forward. "Hey, what's going on?" He looked at me, frustration and confusion on his face. "It's Aisha. I don't know what to think anymore." "Take a breath," I said. "Start from the beginning. What's bothering you?" He ran a hand through his hair. "I found messages inconsistencies. Things she said, things she did, it doesn't match. I feel like I've been manipulated." I nodded, keeping my tone calm. "It's okay to feel that way. You're noticing the truth now." "Truth?" he asked, frowning. "I don't even know what the truth is anymore." "You'll see," I said softly. "It'll become clear. Just observe and think carefully." We spent the afternoon discussing the small inconsistencies, the little lies Aisha had woven into every aspect of her interactions with him. Each revelation chipped away at the trust he once had. Meanwhile, Aisha was growing restless. I noticed it when I met her at a cafe later that day. "You've been very attentive," she said, her tone sharp. "Watching me, observing me." "Why?" "Just noticing," I said casually. "Everyone makes mistakes. Little things that don't add up. I guess everyone slips sometimes." Her eyes narrowed, suspicion flickering. "You're implying something?" "Not implying," I said lightly. "Just observing." "You're dangerous," she muttered under her breath, almost to herself. "Maybe," I said, keeping my tone neutral. "But only if I need to be." Later that evening I met Zara again. She looked nervous but determined. "They're noticing," she said quietly. "Ryan, he's starting to see things. He's questioning her. It's terrifying for him." "Good," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "It's supposed to be scary. But it's also necessary. He needs to see her true colors." I want to help," she said. "But I don't know how." "Just be yourself," I said. "Courage and honesty are stronger than manipulation. That's all we need right now." Over the next few days, I orchestrated more subtle exposures of Aisha's lies. Every time she tried to charm or manipulate someone, I made sure discrepancies were noticed, questions were raised. I stayed in the shadows, quietly observing, feeling a mix of satisfaction and guilt. One evening, a group of friends and family gathered at a small party at Ryan's place. The atmosphere was casual, but tension hummed beneath the surface. Aisha arrived, radiant as always, unaware that her facade was beginning to crumble. "Hi everyone," she said, smiling at the group. "Hi," everyone murmured. I noticed a few subtle glances exchanged between some of Ryan's friends, glances that questioned her. I approached her, casually sipping my drink. "Hello Aisha. Nice to see you." "Thanks," she said, her tone slightly forced. As the evening progressed, I guided the conversation, asking questions that exposed small lies she had told Ryan and others. Each revelation was subtle but effective. Her charm couldn't mask the inconsistencies. "Ryan mentioned something about a meeting yesterday," I said lightly. "Wasn't that cancelled?" Aisha hesitated, her smile faltering. It was rescheduled." "Yes, rescheduled." "Ah," I said casually. "I must have misread the emails then. Easy mistake." But everyone noticed the pause. Everyone noticed the tension. Later, I gently nudged Zara to share a small truth she had discovered. She hesitated, then spoke softly but clearly. Aisha told me she made certain decisions for Ryan without telling him. I didn't know at first, but now I see it. The room went quiet. Ryan's expression changed from confusion to shock. What? He asked, his voice tense. What do you mean? I mean, Zara said, her voice steady, she's been manipulating things. Hiding truths. Controlling decisions. I think she didn't want you to make your own choices. Ryan looked at Aisha, disbelief etched on his face. Is that true? Aisha opened her mouth, then closed it. She tried to smile, tried to recover, but the charm was gone. I only wanted to protect him, she said, voice trembling. Protect him? Ryan asked, his tone sharp now. You mean control him? Lie to him? Manipulate him? She faltered. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. Enough, I said quietly but firmly. The truth is out. Actions have consequences. Her face paled. For the first time she looked genuinely afraid. Over the next hour, more inconsistencies came to light. Friends and family asked questions, and each question revealed another lie, another manipulation. Aisha tried to explain, to charm, to plead, but her efforts only highlighted her deceit. Please, she said, her voice desperate. I didn't mean to. You meant to control, Ryan said, his voice firm. You lied. You lied to me, to everyone. And now everyone sees you for who you really are. I watched silently, feeling a bittersweet satisfaction. She had underestimated me, underestimated the people she thought she controlled. Her collapse was inevitable, and I was at the center, observing, guiding, but not touching more than necessary. Zara stood beside me, calm and composed. She can't hide anymore, she said softly. No, I replied. She can't. And that's the point. Truth is stronger than manipulation. Aisha's pleas became more frantic. Please don't let him see me like this. I can explain. It's too late, Ryan said firmly. I trusted you. And you broke that trust. That's not something I can ignore. You don't understand, she cried, desperation in her voice. I only did it for him. For everyone. Your intentions don't matter, I said quietly. The results do. And the results show who you really are. Her face twisted with anger and fear. She lashed out, verbally at first, then tried subtle intimidation tactics. But no one listened. The subtle charm she relied on had evaporated. I felt a twinge of temptation. Part of me wanted to push further, to humiliate her completely. But another part reminded me of ethics, of restraint, of wisdom over vengeance. I glanced at Zara. She met my gaze, calm and composed. That was the strength I aspired to, truth and courage, not vengeance. Over the next few hours, the gathering became a turning point. Friends, family, colleagues, all saw the cracks. Aisha's manipulation unraveled in public, leaving her isolated, humiliated, and regretful. I never meant for this to happen, she whispered finally, voice barely audible. Intentions don't erase consequences, I said firmly. You had a choice. You chose control, deception, and manipulation. Now you face the truth. Her eyes met mine for a fleeting moment. For the first time she saw not anger, not revenge, but calm, principled observation. She had underestimated me completely. Ryan turned to me later, after Aisha had left, face pale but resolute. Thank you, he said quietly. I didn't see it myself. But you showed me the truth. I shook my head. I didn't do this for gratitude. I did it because it was right. You needed to see, and so did she. Truth has a way of revealing itself. Zara smiled faintly. You were patient. You didn't let anger cloud judgment. That's strength. I nodded, feeling a quiet satisfaction. The collapse was complete, but it was not revenge, it was justice. Aisha had been humbled, exposed, and isolated. As the evening ended, I sat quietly reflecting. The emotional storm had passed. My ethical restraint had guided me to a resolution that was both satisfying and morally grounded. I had intervened, yes, but I had done so wisely. And in the quiet of the night, I realized something else. Zara's courage, Ryan's resilience, my own patience, all of it had revealed a deeper truth, that strength isn't in vengeance but in wisdom, observation, and acting with purpose. I sat alone in my apartment, staring out the window. The city moved on, indifferent to the chaos that had consumed my life for months. Aisha was gone finally. No calls, no messages, no smug presence lingering anywhere. It was strange, almost surreal, to feel this quiet after the storm. Salman called. You okay? He asked, his voice cautious. I think so, I said. It's different now. Peaceful but heavy. Like a weight lifted yet leaving a mark. That's normal, he said. You saw the truth, acted wisely. You handled it better than anyone could. Yeah, but I trailed off, thinking about the temptation to destroy her completely, to humiliate her further. I hadn't. I had restrained myself. And somehow that restraint felt like victory. Later I met Zara at the park. She smiled when she saw me, the sunlight catching her hair like a halo. Hey, she said softly. Hey, I replied. How are you? Better, she said. I feel lighter. Seeing the truth, finally understanding, it's scary but freeing. Good, I said. That's what matters. You're stronger than you realize. Zara looked at me with quiet gratitude. I don't know how I can ever thank you. You guided me, protected me, and you didn't let anger control you. I smiled faintly. Sometimes the hardest thing is knowing when to act and when to hold back. Restraint is its own kind of power. She nodded, thoughtful. I guess that's true. And Ryan, he's calmer now. We really talked. It feels like we can start over, honestly. That's the point, I said. Truth sets people free. Later that evening I ran into Ryan. He looked at me with a mixture of relief and lingering hurt. I owe you. More than I can say. You don't owe me anything, I said. You needed clarity and I helped you see it. That's enough. I still don't understand how you managed it, he said. Aisha, she was so clever, so persuasive. How did you? I shrugged lightly. Observation, patience, and letting the truth speak for itself. People reveal themselves if you watch closely enough. He nodded slowly. I wish I could handle things the way you do. Calm, rational, even when it's personal. You can, I said. It just takes practice and choosing what really matters. You have to decide whether anger is worth the cost. We walked in silence for a moment, both lost in thought. The wind carried the faint scent of autumn, crisp and clean. I realized how much had changed, not just externally but within me. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the manipulation, it had all left scars. But it had also left wisdom, patience, and a deeper understanding of human nature. Later that week, I orchestrated the final unexpected move. Aisha had tried to reach out anonymously, attempting to manipulate her way back into someone's trust. I let her see the consequences without intervening directly. She watched karma unfold silently. I didn't need to humiliate her further. The world had already done it for me. Salman called again. I heard she tried contacting someone? Yes, I said. She'll learn the hard way. But I won't be part of it. I rise above this now. Let karma teach her. Good, he said approvingly. That's maturity. I spent the evening reflecting. I realized forgiveness wasn't about forgetting or excusing, it was about detachment. I had chosen detachment, not revenge. And that choice felt more powerful than any act of vengeance could have been. The next day, I visited Zara and Ryan together. They walked hand in hand, tentative but genuine. You two look peaceful, I said, a small smile forming. We are, Ryan said. Thanks to you. For everything. You don't need to thank me, I said. I only guided the truth to the surface. You did the hard part, facing it, accepting it, moving forward. Zara squeezed my hand briefly. I'll never forget what you did. You showed me strength isn't vengeance, it's wisdom, patience, and courage. I nodded. Exactly. And you've both earned the right to move on. That's more important than punishing someone for their mistakes. We talked for a while, sharing stories, laughing softly. It felt normal, almost mundane, yet deeply satisfying. The chaos of the past months had left its mark, but it was fading, replaced by a sense of resolution. Later as I walked home I thought about Aisha. She was out of our lives now, left to face the consequences she had sown. There was no need for my interference. Karma was sufficient. I sat alone on my balcony, the city lights flickering below. I realized that my transformation wasn't just about dealing with betrayal, it was about understanding my own limits, my own capacity for patience, and the strength to rise above petty vengeance. Salman called one last time. So how does it feel? The storm is over, right? It does, I said. Calm but bittersweet. There's relief but also scars, reminders of what happened, what I endured. But I'm stronger, wiser, more aware. Good, he said. That's all anyone can hope for after something like this. I hung up and took a deep breath. The night was still, quiet, and peaceful. For the first time in months, I felt the weight of tension lift. I could finally see the horizon clearly, unclouded by anger, manipulation, or heartbreak. And then I smiled faintly. Not triumphantly, not maliciously, but with the quiet satisfaction of knowing I had acted wisely, ethically, and with restraint. Aisha had faced her consequences. Ryan and Zara could rebuild their lives. And I had emerged transformed. I leaned back, letting the cool night air wash over me. There was peace in restraint, in wisdom, in rising above the chaos. The scars remained, but they were reminders of lessons learned, of strength gained, and of the quiet power of truth. I whispered softly to myself, almost as if sharing it with the night, "Justice doesn't need my hand. Karma has a way of finding its path. And I have found mine." The city hummed below, indifferent, yet somehow echoing my own sense of resolution. I had faced betrayal, heartbreak, and temptation, but I had chosen the higher path. That choice, the one no one could see, no one could interfere with, was mine alone. I looked up at the stars, faintly glimmering against the dark sky. For the first time I felt fully present, fully myself. The past was behind me, and the future was mine to shape, with wisdom, patience, and courage guiding every step. And in that quiet moment I realized, closure wasn't just about endings, it was about understanding, rising above, and leaving the past where it belonged.